So today I was going to make a video about Paper Rex, and I'm very sorry, Paper Rex fans, but then I came across this, and it just annoyed me, so I had to talk about it, okay? Because I came to the Valorant subreddit, not something you often want to do, but here I was, and I came across this. Interesting stat for anyone watching Talon versus Vitality. Ban placed 0 trips, you can't see it because of my head, but 0 trips for 7 rounds on their defensive half. And I was like, what? Ban placed 0 trips for 7 rounds of their defensive half? That is inexcusable. Now again, initially I thought that this was referring to map 2 of their game here, where Ban played Cypher, right? Initially I thought he meant Cypher. Like, you didn't place Cypher trips, you know, on 7 rounds of your defensive half. Like, oh my god, that's completely inexcusable, right? It wasn't referring to the Cypher. It was referring to this first map of Lotus, where Ban is playing the Deadlock, and the trips are actually the sonic sensors. And this to me was like, oh, okay, I can actually see that how that happened, because I went through that Sunset game and I was like, no, he's placing trips on this Cypher all the time, right? But oh, okay, I can understand how on a Deadlock, you know, you might not do that. So I thought I would take a look at those examples then and see if they were justifiable or not. So now we're just gonna go through a ride of this defensive half of Talon versus Vitality. Take a look at what happened. So pistol round, first defensive round here for Talon. We got a trip, right? We're good. Round 1, we're good. Still on 0 out of 7. Okay, let's go to the next round. So Talon lose the pistol here. So round number 2, here we go. And we can see here that, yes, he does have a trip in hand. No, there is not a trip on the map. It's the second round. I think most of you will probably understand, like, yeah, that makes sense. Second round eco, you've only got classics. Yeah, most people aren't going to be putting a trip down in this round, right? Like, so there's 1 out of your 7, but, you know, excusable, right? Come to the next round, round number 3, and we do only have 1 trip, but, you know, he has brought down to 0 credits here. Ban. He does only have 1 trip, but he's used the 1 trip, so okay. We're still on that 1 out of 7, and it was an excusable 1 out of 7. Right, so we come now to round number 4. Okay, here's the next one, and we can see, okay, here's Ban. He does have 2 trips up, and he's not going to use them. But again, we take a look at the buy, and it's a pretty bad eco, right? Like, we don't have great guns this round, so again, I would say that this is excusable. You're on an eco, right? And you haven't used them, but okay, we're on 2 out of 7. We're on 2 out of 7, but to me, both excusable. We come to round number 5. Full buy round here. We got 2 down. We're good, right? Round number 5. We're chilling. We're fine. Keep going forward here into the next round. And what do we have here? Round number 6. Again, buy round here for both sides. We got 2 up. Okay, so we're still on 2 out of 7. Halfway through the half, we're still on 2 out of 7. Okay, so we're going to need to start seeing something here. Okay, next one here. We have no trips. There's no trips. No trips here, and he does have 2 trips up. Now, again, you look at this buy, though, and I'm sure a lot of you are looking at this buy and be like, well, that's not a very good buy. You got 2 classics in here with no shields. Right, that's not a very good buy. And in fact, Ban is the one with the rifle. So normally, if you're in this round, you're thinking, okay, I'm the one who's going to need to take a fight, right? I'm the one with the rifle in this round. So, again, to me, somewhat understandable. But, okay, we're on 3 out of 7. 3 out of 7 here for Ban. Didn't put the trips down. Okay, next round. So this one here, this next one, this doesn't make sense to me. Okay, because we're on a full buy. He has 2 trips, but we have not used them. And even so, we have a 4 stack here on A and we're fighting A. So you would assume you probably want to be using one on B, and you probably want to be using one, you know, maybe towards C as well. So this is 4 out of 7, but this to me is the first one that, like, there is no excuse for it. Maybe the only excuse you could have is that the call came in late. They didn't know what round they wanted to run. You know, we've all been there in ranked rounds, I'm sure, where, you know, you kind of like, you don't realize really what's going on. You turn up to your site late and you don't have time to put down your stuff, right? Like, maybe that's your one excuse for it, but at a pro level, yeah, probably not good enough. They did end up losing the round. So, okay, not ideal there. Next round, another full buy here for Talon, and we have our trip down. Now, he does save 1. He does eventually, I think, use this one a bit later in the round. So we do here end up with 2 trips down. So we're on, what, 4 out of 7, I think. Only one of them, though, is really, to me, like a massive issue, but we'll keep going, shall we? Okay, we come to the next round, and again, oh, we got 2 trips here. They're not down, but again, you look at the buy here, and it's not amazing, right? This is not really a very good buy here for Talon whatsoever. So yeah, we have no trips down again this one, but again, it's Nico. So okay, we're on 5 out of 7, but you know, again, only one of them to me is inexcusable. Okay, now we come to the next round, round number 11. Here again, we've got 2 trips after the round has started, and we're on a full buy. So again, this one, a bit inexcusable. This one to me looks like a pretty weird call from Talon just in general. They're going to go for kind of a trap play here on C. To me, this doesn't make sense in terms of the agents that we're using. You might want your Deadlock over here anyway, over towards A with the Odin if we're running this play, and have your Fade, you know, be a part of the trap. That seems more logical to me. Or maybe you want the Clove over here, right? But yes, could we find somewhere to put a Sonic Sensor? Yeah, probably. Okay, so we're on 6, and 2 of them to me are like, yeah, you maybe could have used it. Would have been better if you did. Sure, cool, whatever. And then last round, round number 12 here, we've got 2 down. Okay, so we never really did get to 7. We'll get to that in a second. But to me, 4 of these 6 are quite justifiable, right? They aren't that bad. There's only really 2 examples in there that I think are like, oh yeah, you maybe could have used them. But now I want to talk about the Sonic Sensors just in general, right? The Sonic Sensors to me represent an ability that is not that amazing, right? It's not getting great value, I would say, in most rounds, right? Even when you do put both of them down, it's not finding a ton of value, right? And as we saw, in the majority of those cases that Ban did not use them, they were on half buys or full eco rounds, which to me is more of a philosophy of how you want to play the game rather than a mistake by Ban. And if your philosophy is we are going to play so that our full buys are, you know, we've got full shields in those full buys and we have every bit of utility, and you know, we're really playing for those full buys, and our ecos, we aren't as concerned about winning those rounds. If that is your philosophy, then what Ban did makes sense. So I'm not going to blame Ban for not using them in those rounds if that's just their philosophy of how they use it. Those 2 rounds that they could have used it, you know, yes, there are opportunities there in a couple of those rounds where they maybe could have found some value from it. But again, to me, the Deadlock Sonic Sensor is not an ability that I would highly prioritize using a lot. To me, you want to be buying and using the Gravnet. You know, I would much prefer that you bought and used the Gravnet every round, you know, and not buy a Sonic Sensor, to be honest, because I think that the Gravnet is a very, very impactful ability, as we saw multiple times from Talon, actually in their other map on Sunset, where they found a ton of value from using the Deadlock Gravnet. But what about that final 7th one that we never got the example from? Well, that was just a bit of a mistake here from the person who collated the data, because if you take a look at all the different screenshots of all the different images of the rounds that we've just gone through, you might notice a little spot the difference game that this one here, Governor has 1 HP and Ban has 85 health. And if you look down here, Governor has 1 HP and Ban has 85 health. Oh, and the maps look exactly the same. Yeah, they just counted the round twice again. And look, I've called out a lot of teams throughout the years of doing this, you know, and I will continue to do so. But you also learn that sometimes you are just wrong when you call out these people. You don't have full information, even when I do it. I mean, even I'll do it in the future. I've done it in the past. I'm probably doing it right now, where maybe I should be calling out Ban, and I'm not. But you learn that in some of these situations, you just don't have perfect information. And to me, on 4 of these 6 occasions, it's probably just more of a team philosophy thing rather than an actual mistake by Ban.